Happy Sunday! It has been an interesting start to the day. We did have some of that first alert weather early this morning. So things have completely dried out, as you can see here on our radar. Looks like most of the rain now looks to be to our northeast. So not really dealing with much of a rain chance. The cooler air mass that's come through has kind of caused us to dry out for the next couple of days. So we're back into another dry stretch of weather until next weekend. Looks like one of our models wants to set up a similar type of effect. Thankfully, on a lower scale, we don't think it's going to be anything as strong and heavy with the winds and everything in between. It just looks like it's going to be another 30 to 40% chance of rain from Saturday evening into Sunday. Similar timeline, so to speak. But let's go over into the next 12 hours. It's still a little chilly outside, kind of in comparison to yesterday. We're at 67 at the moment, but we'll keep those mid 60s around for the rest of the day. Looking ahead, though, to your evening hours, that's when we'll get into those mid 50s. It'll be a chilly night, so if you still have some late evening plans or you're getting ready for your Monday morning, expect it to be a little chilly out the door tomorrow. We're going to see some 40s around most of the valley early tomorrow morning. So as the students stand outside for the bus, maybe give them a little bit of a heavier jacket. And including my folks that are, commuting. I don't like walking out the house in the cold, so it's gonna be a little colder than what we've been seeing from the past couple of days. The breeze starts to die down, though. I think earlier we had real decent breeze most of the day, like strong gusts of wind. I think around 4, this particular data set here for our 12-hour had it around 19 miles per hour, which, I mean, it sounds like it, doesn't it? If you've heard it from inside, it sounds like it's kind of crazy outside, but it's been really breezy and windy today, really. So, but we start to see that kind of calm down overnight tonight, thankfully. But they're going to see a little more of the same going into your Monday, more so on, I would say, this scale of about 10 miles per hour. So we'll take it down a notch. It won't be as breezy and windy and gusty as we've seen today. So looking for your Monday forecast, temperatures, like I mentioned, will start in those 40s for most of the early morning hours. It'll be around 8 by the time we get to the higher 40s, and then we'll see some 50s back into the forecast in between 9 to 10 o'clock. 60s in the afternoon. High is expected to be about 72. We won't see that until in the mid-afternoon, early evening hours. So it'll be a little minute before we see any kind of 70s outside, but it's gonna be a little bit of a cooler, not so chilly, but a little brisk of a day outside. Still keeping a good deal of that breeze around, like I mentioned. And for my students, maybe my teachers that are tuning in, trying to get things prepared for the school week ahead, we're gonna see an opportunity for great days of sunshine. We do have some cloud cover that starts to build back in later this week, but that means fresh air, playground opportunities. There we go. They're going to be real solid, real nice feeling outside. Thankfully, you won't need that fan this week. We can put the fans away for a little moment. Lots of our temperatures this week are going to be in the upper 60s, low end 70s. Very nice and comfortable out the door for our daytime hours. As we get into the evening, though, sunset, real early morning hours, that's when we start to feel a little frigid in comparison to where we've been in the past couple of weeks. This is kind of the first time we've dipped into some of those 40s at this rate. So, like I mentioned, we've dried out a lot of our humidity. So our dew points are real low by this point, but that means in the mornings we could see some opportunities for dewy starts. So that's where all of our moisture will go. It'll settle more so overnight into your morning. So keep that in mind. But looks like we're going to have some great and amazing feeling days outside. It's not going to be sticky. And then again, with all of the breeze that we've got going on this week, every single day is expected to be somewhere around 10 miles per hour. Maybe a little above that, but nothing as strong as today. We were seeing 19s and 20s, and that was just really something. And then even really early this morning, as we were seeing 35 miles per hour. It was getting a little wild outside. When I stayed overnight, me and Brad stayed till about Brad stayed till about 1. I stayed till 2. Eric came in at 2. And when I got home and I settled in for the evening, the wind was picking up. I was like, it sounds like my home might lift and fly away. Like, it was very strong. But thankfully on the lower end of what was predicted for the severity of our wind gusts. Thankfully, that's really good to note. So, like I mentioned with our temperatures, keeping it in those mid 70s, nice and comfy. Breezy days ahead. Wednesday into Thursday looks like it's going to be our chilliest day of the week. We'll see an upper 60 here in Huntsville, 69, but most other communities will kind of fall a little below that. Could see some 67s, 68s. And then our low going into Thursday, Wednesday night into Thursday, could tap at 40 here. Some of our communities could see some upper 30s. So we are taking a plunge into some cooler weather for sure. Now, looking ahead to Thursday and Friday, we start to see cloud cover building back in, and that's ahead of what looks to be another boundary that wants to come in Saturday and Sunday. And you'll remember when I first started, about 10 or so minutes ago at this rate, I mentioned that there looks like a similar setup, a similar timeline with showers heading into Saturday evening and Sunday morning. I don't think it's going to be as strong as what we've dealt with, not a first alert weather day as of right now. Just looks like it's going to be a heavy amount of rain, more so than anything. And even still, not as heavy as what we experienced overnight tonight. Just looks like it's going to be the overnight hours, constant rain, very wet and damp to cap off your Saturday and start your Sunday. And then Monday, this is the following Monday, we'll still be in those mid 70s. Still comfy, but by the time we get to Tuesday and Wednesday, it looks like there may be a weaker front coming through, because you can see that 72 switching down to about 60, 66 by Wednesday. And right now, the jury is still out on if that front's going to make it to us, because the setup of it looks quite weak. So Eric's ideal thought process on that was it may be too weak to push us that far back, temperature-wise. But, of course, time will tell. We'll probably have a better grasp on it come Wednesday, to show you what's coming up for next Wednesday, right? So a lot of the time we're able to show you 7 days that we can definitely map out. But once you get to 10 days, that's when we start to see a little inconsistency with our models, and we try and trust the judgment of, well, if this is the setup that we're already seeing, like how Saturday and Sunday has our rain shifting into the afternoons and evenings, if that's the setup we're already seeing, we have one dry day in between these two, that Tuesday front may weaken because we've already had something move through. So things like that are just some of the things that we think about as we forecast for you all. So I'm gonna check real quick and see. Oh, you're welcome, Daryl. Of course. So all that to be said, so look at your forecast. Tune in tonight in about 10 or so minutes at 5, or when NASCAR wraps up. I haven't paid attention in the past like 20 minutes because I've been doing this and getting ready for it. So I haven't seen I don't even know what lap they're on, none of that. But after NASCAR, we will be here. We'll do your news, and then later on tonight after the game, I want to say it's my Falcons playing tonight, so good vibes, Bijan, please get us through here. All right, anyway, that being said, hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening. Make sure you tune in tonight to get an update of your forecast. Still got a dry stretch going on, so First Alert Weather Day has definitely been over for a few hours by this point. And with that, hope you have a wonderful week ahead.